suppose we could probably get started. I suppose it's about time we start doing a thing. Hi, friendos. How's it going? How's everyone doing? It is Unwashed Ass Day. It is time to play more Alan Wake. That's about all I got. As far as an introduction is concerned. This time around, it's fine. We're excited. We're here for it. We're gonna shoot some shadows. We're gonna, I don't know what else. Find a man in a submarine suit, in a scuba suit. Not a submarine suit. That's not a thing. Generally, cause some dang havoc. It's gonna be great. No more run jump ponies for you? No more run jump ponies for you. We don't gotta play any more run jump ponies, Fruity, ever again if you don't want to. At all. We never have to do it ever again. Hey, game, give me back my my mouse. Anyway, it is Alan Wake time, which means Spotify's gotta go. Get out of here, Spotify. I don't remember. I don't know. Also, hi, Num! Welcome, friend. How are you doing? It's true. The ponies and the fish aren't better than you. But, also, thank you, Nem, for the contribution. Fruity and Travis as well, thank you for the Sinner's Sandwich contribution. You'll never make it in time. We'll never have to eat this sandwich ever. Ever. Trying to think of what happened the last time we played Alan Wake. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a week. We haven't played since last Monday, right? Shit, okay.
Previously on Alan Wake, under the influence of the Dark Presence, I wrote a horror story that is coming true. Jagger had been my editor, making sure that the unfolding story would make her more...
Hold on, it's gonna pause for a second because I need to turn that down. Holy shit. Oh, and now the volume has gone away. Or did my headphones just disconnect? Resume?
Into the lake, it does something to the works of our creator.
Okay, let me just break the game immediately.
My mom gave me this old light switch.
The clicker.
Alice is being kept in a dark prison. I need to find Cynthia Weaver to fix this.
Oh, right, there was a drunk scene.
You're gonna pay for it.
I don't underestimate your
we're expecting a record crowd from the neighboring counties. Naturally, we hope to break the record set by last year's Moose Fest in our neighboring town, Watery. Ladies and gentlemen, some people have asked me, what's the big deal about Deer Fest? And I think that this sums it up. It's about friendship and community. We've got a great party coming up, but let's try to hold it in until tomorrow.
Oh no, we're in jail! Poor Barry. Hold on, I'm gonna have to exit out again to turn this down. Is that too loud? That looks way too loud. And of course it's gonna...
I have it. Someone will come for it when the time is right. Thomas said so.
It's Lamp Lady!
The key is insurance. It's my job to keep it safe. It's saving the light.
Yes! Yes, it does. We have lost our lights and our gun again.
All the manuscript pages were gone.
We're in jail
The
for
FBI
crimes against
agent had taken
hygiene.
I think my tongue just took a crap in my mouth. Ugh. Oh,
Barry.
Wait, we're in jail now? Ow. Ow, this is not
Ow!
That about sums it up.
You alright, bud?
I am never drinking again.
Game volume.
I need to
We
talk
okay?
to Weaver.
All
She's the
good?
one in the song. The Lady of the Light.
Lady of the Light.
Crazy lady? Whatever you say, Al, but we're stuck here. They're not
You
gonna...
haven't interviewed Wake.
I had
Hey.
some reading to do first, Sheriff. And
Hey.
let me tell you, it was an interesting read.
Let me out.
Well, I've got you now, Raymond Chandler. It's
Oh
all
my
here.
God.
All
You're gonna
the
run out of
evidence, including
writers by the end of
conspiracy
this
to
dang
murder a
game,
federal
sir.
agent. There's no way you're walking out of here. You hear me in there, Bret Easton Ellis? Huh?
Agent Nightingale, I want to talk to your superior.
Well, we all want things, Sheriff. I wanted my... Look, that's not possible right now.
Agent Nightingale, I insist.
Someone's a piece of shit. It's
Wait,
Agent
what's
Nightingale.
wrong?
Lady, are you stupid? It's a trick. It's an obvious trick.
Okay, I've had enough of this crap. Wake, I'm gonna trust you with this.
You're joking.
Agent Nightingale, your opinion would matter more if you were sober and if I actually believed you were here on official business.
Ooh, you tell him.
Whoa! Get back in the cell, Stephen King. The
You've
only way
used that
you're
one
leaving
already,
this
I
place
think.
is over my dead... Wait a minute. I know this.
Sucks.
Oh my god!
Light.
Hey, can you not
We
put
need light.
your light in
It's
my
the
eyes?
only way to fight this thing.
In my office. I've got your things there. Follow me.
Alright, well, we're just like jumping right in, aren't
man.
we?
We're sitting ducks with the lights out.
Also,
Stay cool.
a couple of
I can
manuscript
get the
pages
emergency
already.
power on.
That's pretty great. Yeah, is it in-game sound okay? Too loud, too quiet, just right? Seemed much louder this time around than it did last time, but I have no idea. I know nothing. Also, we got flares! Before we got a flashlight. That's... Hey! Why is there a car in front of the door, ma'am? Anyway, I hope everyone's doing alright. We're gonna cause some mischief here with Alan. It's gonna be great. Barry? Where did Barry go?
Here are your things. Wake, what do I need to know? What do you need from me?
They can be hurt in the light, only in the light. And I need to find Cynthia Weaver. She can help
Excuse
me
me.
stop this.
Light. Check.
Never
Cynthia,
mind, we didn't lose
she lives in
shit.
the old decommissioned power plant. I can get you there pretty quickly in the rescue chopper. Come on, let's get back to your friend.
Helicopter time? Helicopter time?
Wheeler, I need you to stay here.
What? No.
We're going to fetch our ride,
Barry,
but I have
Barry,
friends who need to
Barry.
be warned about this,
Barry,
and
Barry,
I can't be in two
Barry,
places at
Barry,
once.
Barry,
I need your help.
Well, okay.
Here's a list of people and phone numbers. I need you to call them and tell them you have a message from me. Night Springs, okay? They'll know what to do.
Night Springs? Like the TV
Sound
show?
is good. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Also, thank you for
Oh, hey,
the
radio guy's on the list. Maine.
bless
Who's
you.
Frank Breaker? He
So
related to you?
sneezy all of the
My
time.
dad.
Hey, is this like a secret society?
Also,
Can you
speaking
do
of
this?
sound good,
You'll be safe here. The backup power's on.
grip it and
These
rip it.
guys need to be alerted, just in case we don't come back.
You'll come back for me though, right?
As soon as we get the chopper ready. Thanks,
It's
Wheeler.
Alan
I owe
wake
you one.
time.
Okay,
It's
let's go,
Alan
Wake.
wake time.
Through the back.
My hangover wants a pizza. You think there's any way I can order one out?
I want pizza.
Hello, Mr. Breaker?
Does someone want to get me some pizza? Please and thank you.
Oh, hell.
Ma'am,
Whatever
can
took
you-
Nightingale must have broken the gate controls. We can't reach the gate's control box from here. We need to get to the other side. Over
Give
the
me a
rooftop.
boost. Look.
I'll go. I'll open the gate for you once I'm across. You stay
Okay.
here in the light and cover me, Sheriff, okay?
I don't want to go across. Alan, this is how we die. This is how people get got. I don't know that this is where I'm supposed to be either. What? Batteries. Alright. So everything's bad. Let's see if I can remember how to play this game. And not punch myself in the face with a fence?
I
Where are
needed
we
to reach the
focusing?
rooftop to get to the other side of the broken gate.
Are you gonna open the door for me now? Is that... No, it's still locked. It was pretty alright. It was pretty alright timing. Hey, Alan. Hey, Alan. Couldn't have done it better myself. Okay, you want me to get up there, right? You want me to get up there? There is a ladder over there. I see it now. Up. Up. Sometimes you just gotta punch yourself in the face with a fence. It do be like that sometimes. Bring that down. There we go. There we go! I saw the deer, but I didn't really process what it was, and it scared the bejeebus out of me. Hi, deer. Oh, dear. Gotta get rid of all the goop. This is a goop-free zone. What does that say? In light, you can hurt them. Yeah, we know. We've played this game for how long now? Oh, flares. Ooh. Fun, great things. I miss the Anderson farm already. So, don't miss traveling around it. Correction, I don't miss the Anderson farm. I miss the Andersons. Torn Odin. What good guys. Don't fall on the goop. What a bunch of cool dudes. Ah! Please. I want the birds to go away. Birds, please. We're so close. Great. Handled. The way the music just cut out. Oh, this is gonna be... Do you want me to jump across this? Alan, please. Now
Hey,
is not the
Sheriff,
time to be wine
your
drunk.
Password. Night Springs? What's that all about?
It's a stupid joke we have. Mike Falls is the original inspiration for the TV show. This town can get weird at times. Never this weird, though. You need to bypass the damage control button.
What am I, an electrician? Hold on.
Bypass. Just spam those clicks.
That's smart.
Good job, Wade.
It's fine, you've done
Stay
it.
Close. Our first stop is the town hall. The keys to the chopper are there.
Is the lady gonna be, like, useful? I don't remember this bit of the game, like, at all. Ouch. We are dying. But I wanted to come over here to get the thing! Get away from me! A lady is talking to Alan. It's okay, she's a cop, so she doesn't really count. Please. Ma'am, stop wasting your dang bullets! Oh my god, but also... Hey, Al. How's it going? Lady. Is there anything hiding back here? Hello? Hello? Just another flare. Fantastic. That's just what I wanted. Can we reload while we're here thinking about it? Hold on a second. I need to move my microphone just a little bit. It was covering up my bullets. That's where we came from. This is where I came down. Alright. I do not remember this portion of the game at all. Or maybe I do. Do we start getting boats being thrown at us? Also, we're gonna get got by a deer, and that's unfortunate. Good. Did the youths calm down at all? Slightly less of a youthful problem? Please, please. Okay, alright. Let's go. Oh, boy. Where did... Nah, truck's still there. Minded its own business. Do you want me to go this way? Because that's the way we're supposed to go?
The chopper's in the other direction!
Where are you? You're over there, so I should go this way. Mostly? Good. I'll come kick a kid if you want me to. Don't think I won't. I'll fight a child. Heck, I'd punch a bee. Let's go. Look, I'm gonna fight Fruity. I would also fight a child. Is there anything else over here? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Hold on. Sorry. Just sit up. I don't know. I don't know. What if I'm equipped with a run and jump and pony? What then? What would you do then? I don't know that you can fight against a run and jump and pony. Things? Things? There is an arrow. I get to hear the slight screaming sound in the distance. Oh no. She's one of those. What have I done? That was a waste of a flare. It might distract you long enough for me to get hit in, though. But also, children shouldn't hit. Don't do a hit. Don't do a hit. That's all we gotta know. Just don't. Unless it's Fruity and me, just don't do a hit. No fighting. Is there anything back here? Oh! What the fuck? Why did that scare me? Jesus Christ. Get out of here. Oh my goodness. That was a bit embarrassing. It's fine. I was just so excited about items. Do you want me to go into the diner? Do we go into the diner? Hey, what if I go into the diner? They just got bullets sitting out on the counter. Why? Why are they like this? Give me that heavy-duty flashlight.
I'm gonna want explanations, you know. For example, what the
No,
hell happened to
stop.
Rose? She's seriously messed up now.
Stop.
The same thing I think happened to me after I arrived.
During this week, you can't remember?
Oh, I remember now.
Oh, by the way, I no longer have amnesia. We're, fully functional. Totally in charge. Know what's happening at all times. Hello? Bucket. Manuscript. I'm not allowed into the bathrooms. Either one of them. Not allowed to go in there either. This was pointless. There was just a thermos of wine. And some ammo that I am full up on. Do you want me to go in here? When will this lady tell me where I'm supposed to go? Is it here? Do you want me to go in here? Do you want me to go through the gate? You want me to go through the gate. It's nice to know that she also has a hard time pushing things open. Also, is that gate just like freaking out? Gate's haunted. Gate's haunted. 100%. Beautiful. You love... Man, how many times do I have to tell you, you have to wait until they have been weakened by the light. She's not understanding that you can't just shoot them. Not the porta potties. Ah! Stop! Stop! Bam! Stop wasting your bullets! I mean, I assume she has more than I do, so you know what? You know, just go for it. Do the thing. But also, can you flash your light on them a little bit more? Oh.
We made it.
Did we? Still feels like we have a ways to go. Where are you going? Where are we going? What are we doing?
Wait, over here. There's
No.
light.
What if I go over here, though? Like, you clearly want me to go that way. But what if there are things over here? See, like this thermos. And a flare, and some ammo that I don't need, and some batteries that I don't need. I was kind of hoping for a manuscript page, but whatever, I suppose. What is that? Is this where we came from? Yeah. Alright. Alan, I need you to walk, please. Not even walk. I need you to run. You don't have to full-on sprint either, though. You could just kind of, like... No, run. I need you to run.
Watch my back, wait.
You could have been doing that this whole time. This whole time. I hate the sound of the achievements. Hate. I should probably reload that. Not a chainsaw, man. I realize Amblin is kind of like his thing, but if it could also not be, that'd be cool too. Again, like a nice, steady hustle would be wonderful.
Oh, no, you don't.
Ah! Please! You are too close to me. You are too close to me. How are you standing up? Okay, great. We've done it. Boof! Give those batteries. Give me that revolver ammo. Let's
go, Wake.
go. Do I have... I need my revolver re-equipped. Is there anything cool over here? I wish... And I know some of this just comes with, like, when this game came out. But I wish that, like, all of the area that you are given to explore had a little bit more to it. Slash the... Well, no, I guess that does fit. Because, like, there were plenty of, like, really large areas, like, out in the forest and stuff that were really cool. But there was nothing to, like, really mark any of it as being different. And, like, when you wandered off, you were given items sometimes, but not nearly enough for it to, like, be worthwhile. Especially with as much as I got lost.
Okay, someone's messed with the fuse box here, but you should be able to jury rig it while I find the keys. Oops.
I already got electrocuted once today. How about I look for the keys and you get burned for a change?
Fine. They should be in the clerk's office on the other side of the building, near the main entrance.
Okay, but... Still good. I still like it.
The message was from Barry. He was getting worried at the station. He wanted us to hurry.
Well, it's like, I mean, they don't offer you a map, like, at all, as far as I'm aware. Oh, hi. But it's mostly just a matter of, like, the environments are so big. Let's go. Nah, I do still like... I feel like aspects of Control kind of went backwards in comparison to Alan Wake. I am planning on giving Control another shot. But again, just kind of like on my own time to mess around with it. Especially since like the control for... or the general controls and even the dodge is very similar to Control. I think I could potentially, like, deal with it now. Yeah, no, for sure. And that's kind of why it's like, I think having now played Alan Wake again for the first time in years, I wanted to look around more!
Barry?
Why isn't he inside?
And I think that was, like, one of my issues with Control as well. Is like, the environments were really cool, but there was so much to look at, and so much of it looked the same that it made it hard to navigate, and, like, the map in that game was not ideal.
Barry! He made it inside, Wake. He's okay.
Yeah.
The storefront's blocked.
Barry's fucking
Come on,
dead.
Wake. Let's go around. We can meet him
hold
in
on.
the back.
I want to go back in here. No, let me back in! There was a hole upstairs that I didn't get to explore because I thought you wanted me to go upstairs! Feck. Oh well. Yeah, and it's like, I don't necessarily want, like... I don't want my environments to be just so full of stuff that I don't, like, that it's hard to figure out where to look because there's too much. But I also want there to be something to differentiate each area, especially if you're gonna give me no map and or a garbage map, for me to be able to kind of find my way through. I think it might be a little easier for me with Control if I do just kind of, like I said, do it off stream, because then I can wander around and I will more actively pay attention, because my attention won't be split up into as many places as it usually is when I'm streaming. But it still felt like so much of it just looked the same. You know? It's fine. It's not recorded when Bright Falls was first formed as a nameless trading post, but it became a town when the Bright Falls Mining Company started to operate nearby in 1878. It was then that Hubert Biltmore, a fur trapper, and Amos Gunderson, a pioneer from Tacoma, decided to build a post office, saloon, and hotel, all operating from the same building. It was through the efforts of these two men that Bright Falls became the permanent and thriving town it is today. Right? Barry better fucking be okay. Listen here, game. If you fucking hurt Barry, just no one in the dark. How can we inconvenience Barry now? I don't know, throw a bus at him? Don't. Not the Looney Tunes reference. Man, you weren't even facing the direction that he was standing in. Good fucking shot. Yeah, well, and, you know, kind of buildings don't offer much in the way of, you know, delightful architecture to look at. That brutalist sort of appearance, which, like, I don't hate. I love the aesthetic of Control. But when your hallways, like, I'm specifically thinking of, like, the boiler room and shit like that, where it's like your hallways are all just pipes. I need a little more. I think they did do an okay job with signage, but signage felt very spaced out at times.
We can make it through the bookstore. Wheeler should be waiting for us in the backyard.
But yeah, no, the vibe of,
Don't worry about it.
Sarah,
I want that.
about time somebody showed up. All
Hello,
this
sir.
shooting in the air is idiotic. One of these days they'll kill somebody. And over Deerfest.
But yeah.
I know. Go back to bed.
I guess with, like,
Look, this town can't take this.
It's me they want.
Can I just
The
jump
sooner I
through
get outta
that?
here, the
Or is
sooner we
that,
can all get
is
back
there
to life
something
as
in the way?
usual.
This is where you
I
want me
hope
to go.
you're right.
Okay.
Come on, let me get this door open.
Yeah. I liked what they were doing, and I was very invested in the story. It was just a lot to deal with. But, like I said, I will be going back to that sometime soon. I have so many games I have to get through right now. Like, off stream, I have so many games I need to get through. So I don't know when I'll be getting to,
They're really taking advantage of your presence here, Wake. I heard they're selling a lot of your Alex Casey
I don't know when I'll
books.
get to it, but as
Right
soon as
now,
I do, I will
I'm
let
not a
you
big
know, and I will
fan
let
of
you
my
know
own
what I'm feeling about it. Alex Casey Books by Alan Wake, modern master of crime fiction. Alex Casey, What I Can't Forget, Return to Sender, The Things That I Want, The Fall of Casey and the Sudden Stop. All in stock, 20 per book, 100 for the full set. Mr. Wake is in town, see if you can get them autographed. Don't do that. Especially if you're a small town. If you know that somebody famous is in town, and they're in town as a vacation, don't encourage people to go pester them, even if they are shitty people like Alan Wake. Surprise, celebrities are just people too. I guess for me, I am just excited to, like, try it again and see if I like it. But yeah, we'll see.
I don't see Barry.
Look, wait.
I am...
Maybe that's him.
What am
That's
I
the way to
playing
the
right
chopper.
now, off stream? Working on Psychonauts 2, which is very good. Would highly recommend so far. I'm still fairly early on. But absolutely enjoying it. And, I am finishing up Death's Door. I'm on, like, what I think is the final boss fight. And it's rough. But, like, in the best possible way. But slowly but surely trying to tackle that. And then I started... There was another game that was kind of feelsy. Don't remember. I'm also doing Ni no Kuni, but that's like my bedtime game. Good game. Everyone's playing Breath of the Wild again, and I, like, really want to play it again. I don't think I finished it. I think I did that thing I do, where I got really into it, and tried to, like, was in the process of, like, 100%ing it, and then I set it down and just never went back to it, and then didn't touch it for, like, a year and a half or something. Was like, I'll never want to play this again. And now I want to play it again. You know, like you do. But yeah. It's all fine. Get there eventually. But yeah, with the Steam Winter Sale and stuff, I went a little overboard. But that's okay. I am very excited. I wouldn't recommend 100%ing Breath of the Wild. As somebody who usually really enjoys 100%ing games, don't do it. It's not worth it. Like, it's fun to wander around and explore and, like, find some of the secret stuff, but I don't think that doing all of it is necessary in the slightest. Like, definitely do some of the things just so you can be like, oh, this is neat. But don't do all of it. It's not necessary and is really there just for the big, like, completely obsessed Zelda nerds, which good on them. But even then, I'd still just be like,
I'm gonna give Pastor Howard a piece of my mind about this lock. I told him to get it fixed.
Here they come.
yeah, no, exactly. And I like the balance that it has where you can just kind of wander around and do whatever, but there's still enough of, like, there's still enough quests and stuff that you can just do that and not necessarily breeze through it either. There's still plenty to do, and I had the wrong item equipped. It's fine. I need to remind myself that they usually give me enough items in every chapter that I don't have to be like, save it for this time. Just use some shit. If you've got it, just use it. Don't be wasteful, but also you don't gotta save it as much as you do. Okay, please. Stop! Sir! Stop! Stop sneaking up behind me! Stop! Oh my god. Alright. Let's fucking go. I have flashbangs. Right. We'll give you plenty of items, but only at times when you don't need them. Have fun. I will give Alan Wake credit where credit is due. It is very good at making sure that you're well equipped. You can easily be extremely wasteful and run out of stuff if you are just willy-nilly throwing everything around, but even then it's still very difficult to run out of stuff. Can you just
I'm gonna give Pastor Howard
Yeah,
a
I
piece
know.
of my mind
Ma'am,
about
I
this
don't need
lock.
to be right next to you for you to tell me this.
Here they come.
And despite the fact that I know it's an issue, because I make a comment about it constantly, I keep forgetting that they do take my stuff away at the like at the end of an episode. So none of my stuff carries over. Oop. Next. Fuck. Get away from me. Okay, alright, look here. Listen, guys. Woo! Epic needs to work on its achievements. They're so loud and so scary. Great. Did I pick this up already? I mean, yes, but it did not count. Because why would it count? Alright.
Okay, it's open. Let's go, Wake.
But yeah, the controls in this are also, like, wibbly and weird. But I'm more used to them now. Oh, but the story is so wacky. Like, what's going on? Hey, Alan. What are you doing, you goober?
Wow.
We keep them lit all night long on the night before Deerfest.
Why?
Why?
Well, it's tradition.
Why? You can't just say it's tradition and then not tell me why it's a tradition. Or, at the very least, try and sing like Tevye from Fiddler on the Roof.
To get to the parking lot.
Yeah, there's no way going through the crypt will turn out to be a bad idea.
Come on. You either have to explain the tradition to me, or sing like Tevye. One or the other. Or both. Both is acceptable as well. Sirs. Goodbye! It's not even an issue. Let's not even make it an issue, alright? Wow, it is very dark in here. Is there, like, anything cool down here? Or is it just dark? It's just dark. Alright. Kick it.
Did you call 911?
I did not, because I'm not a fucking narc. Is that
Guess
you?
that one saw the light. Huh?
Barry, my boy!
You didn't like
Look at you!
audience. Well, I got plenty more.
What are the Christmas lights for?
Protection, man. Like garlic against vampires.
Vampires.
The helicopter's just across the parking lot
Our
and up the
beautiful
hill. Come on.
boy. Barry really is. No pun intended. Pun is intended. Barry is the light of this game, honestly. What a good boy. What a darling lad. Fucking love Barry. So much. Right? Perfect. Beautiful. It's very
The Bright
good.
Falls General Store is now my favorite place in the entire world. See this headlamp? It's like a superpower. I can just look at one of those things and they die. It's my Flaming Eye of Mordor.
Okay, you
I
goober.
wish I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Hey, I want a headlamp.
Last one.
Bastard.
Barry is a beautiful boy. Realizing that basically all berries in video games are a
Someone throws
gift.
a damn school bus at your head and you're about to take a helicopter ride with someone who may or may not have a pilot's license. You're cleared for departure.
I can see the Patton Oswalt vibes 100%. What about other Barry? There's Barry Burton. Barry Burton's a fucking gift. What other Barry? What? Quick, I need other berries in video games. I need to know if it's all berries or most berries in video games. Not you with the dumb chainsaw. Oh! See, I haven't watched enough Archer to know about other berry. Is other berry good? Please get out of here. that's a TV show, not a video game. So I think berries in video games still stands. The qualifier here is that they have to be in the video games. They have to be made from a video game? Travis, please. Please. Fire department.
The helicopter's just up ahead. I'll need a while to prep for takeoff.
Don't take too long. I want to get out of here.
Right. Ma'am, if you could do it quickly, that would be great. Shotgun ammo. Shotgun ammo. Pick up those flares. We are just full up on items right now, which is great. But also, how bad is this little standoff that we're gonna do going to be? Okay, but can you pick up? Do it. Do the thing. Barry, you don't need to help her. Barry, listen. Oh no.
You will never get her back.
Ma'am.
Get ready, I'll hold them off.
Will you though? Ouch! Hey Barry, do you want to come help, buddy? Ah! That fucked up. Please, 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 please. She is Angie. I just don't want to deal with any of these guys. Ah!
Everything I dare on the checkpoint.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm alive. It's fine. It's fine. There are no problems here. There's just things being thrown at us. It's no problem. Zero problem. Everything is cool. What if I just keep doing this? I do have a lot of flashbangs at the moment, so like we could just keep throwing those. I still have like 7 more. Do want flares, I guess. I've got 20 of those. Come on.
You're taking a big chance on a local crazy lady now.
Contribution to
I
the
hope
Sinner
you're right about her.
Sinners
Or we can
Sandwich
kiss this town
Challenge.
goodbye.
Bubble. We have done it. Okay. What do we got? Now what? Now what?
I hope you know how to deal with this, Wake. I guess you New Yorkers are used to rough situations like this.
Right, the city's a war zone. King Kong, mutant alligators, and Alex Casey shoots the place up every weekend. Look, I never even carried a gun until a couple of days ago.
Well, my dad used to be
Why
a
are we-
cop there. Tell
why
us
is
some
everything
pretty
so
wild
echoey?
stories.
Stuff like this?
No, just normal bad stuff. Kind of like your books, Wake. I used to tease Dad that he was just like Alex Casey.
You've read me.
Oh, sure. You're a pretty good writer. A little heavy on the metaphors, maybe.
He's not a good
Never
writer,
said that
though.
before.
We're coming up on
Nobody's
a
ever
power
said that you're a
plant.
good
See the
writer?
lit building over there? And that's the dam further up the river.
I mean, you're not.
I can't land here. I'll take her down the road across the river.
Just get me there, Sheriff.
Man.
Hold on!
It's because she's not a pilot. Oh. And our legs are broken. She was too busy running away from the shadows to put a headset on. Why put a headset on when you could just cause issues? Yeah, I'm trying. Look, I am trying to get rid of your stupid birds for you, okay? Listen. Consider less birds. It can't be forgiven. It was for Alan. Therefore, unacceptable. I guess Barry was involved, so we can minorly forgive that situation. Anything for Barry. Where did they go? They have left. So far, the only other writer in universe is Stephen King and J.R.R. Tolkien. We've had mention of a few other writers, none of whom I can remember because it was old Nightingale who said it, and I wasn't listening to him. Because the second he'd start talking about it, like, using some other writer name for me, I was just like, please stop.
I had to do something.
Hemingway
about the
was
chain
definitely
for the door to open.
mentioned. Who else? I don't remember. Also, did they take? They took all my guns away again. Alan, useless. We do need to get those like Wiimote straps for his freaking guns. My goodness. Hi. There's a man behind me. There's a man behind me. Oh, please. Oh, boy. Okay, alright. This is fine. There we go. Yeah, thus far only male authors. It's only men. It's a bit of a problem. It's okay. Did we expect anything less from Nightingale? He would only recognize men as authors. But also, would we want to disparage the name of any women by associating them with Alan Wake? also consider. I wouldn't want someone to mistake Alan Wake for me if I were a writer. If I were published, I would hate that.
And here's a new song from a band that they always remind me of our local.
Ah! Not me just getting taken out by a fucking shelf. Please. 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 I am in a corner. Get out here. Get out of here. No. Go. 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 Okay. Facts. First to die. Oh no. No, 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 no. Stop! There are too many of you! Fuck off! Holy butts! Please. Oh my god. Nope! 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 Stuck on a corner. This is fine. It's all fine here. It's all fine. There are no problems. It's gonna be great. We're gonna get through without any issue. Oh my god. Great. Look at that. We got this handled. No high fives. This is a distinct no high five zone. I need this music to stop. This is so bad. That's just me running around that I hear? I think so. Oh boy. Okay, finish reloading. Wowee. Let's get out of here. High five! No high fives.
The power
None
plant
high
glowed in the
fives.
night. It was close, but I had to find a way across.
For real though. And like, granted I did turn that one on, but there's no way to turn it off, so it'll just keep playing for forever. And it's like, hey, consider game. You don't. Fuck. Alright. Power plant means lots of lights, right? Oh, hi. Oh, hi. No, I already saw him, Alan. Yeah, fuck it. I don't want to deal with him. I'm definitely lower on items than I would like to be at the moment, but we have only just started. I can't... I didn't think that that would do anything, but it was worth a try. I just want to get through this... Oh, I see. No, I don't. I thought that was going to turn off the wires. It did not. I want to get through here, though. I would like to get through there. Because I saw a manuscript page. right here! Please. Woof. Okay, alright. Not even an issue. I wasn't concerned. Why would I be concerned? I got this handled. Please. You've spawned in literally where I am standing. Stop. My goodness. There's the manuscript page. Great. It was not as difficult to get as I was anticipating. You gonna spawn dudes in again right next to me as I'm grabbing stuff? I preferred if you didn't. Yeah, I don't remember this section of the game at all. Some of the stuff before I was like, yeah, this is familiar. No longer. Excuse me. Are you shitting me? If you touch the wires at all, you're dead. Which makes sense. But also, consider not doing that to me. Maybe we don't? Do it. Throw it out there. Thank you. We'll just directly in his face do that. Not the realism. Please, don't do that to me. Can I shoot these? It will not let me shoot those. Like, I'm not even allowed to shoot at all. Use. Come on, game. Don't kill me in a single hit with the stupid little wires, especially when the enemies can just kind of push me into them. It's rude. It's extremely rude. Also, is this where Lamp Lady lives? Like, she just lives at the power plant? Is that... Am I understanding that correctly? Oh, wait. I am supposed to be here. Lamp Lady. Ma'am. I mean, I guess you do you, but also is this really the place to live? What's over here? What do we have going on today? Man, you hadn't been materialized all the way. It's because any game that has an item lady in it is just immediately Twin Peaks-esque. That's just how that works. I don't make the rules. It's not true. I don't know. Probably. I don't want to say that they're similar, but they do both have a lady that runs around with an inanimate object who may or may not be mildly unstable. I think we like York more than we like Alan. Oh, there are definitely similarities, for sure. We do kind of play a smelly man in both of them. That is, you are correct. Birds. Thus far, York is the more endearing of the two smelly men. We like Alan because he's such a mess. And we love York because he's just a weirdo. Please. You play as an item lady? Gun lady. Play as a director, arguably. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why this is still spinning. It does bring Flyfam, therefore it is better. Oh no. Alan just has nasty ass. What of it? Please, batteries. Look, I love crows. Listen, I love crows. But the crow fam that Alan brings is the angry kind that wants to do a murder because he stink too much. Alan smell like poop holes.
Are we men dreaming of being butterflies or butterflies that dream?
Are these crows dicks? Or are they just trying to do the world a favor? Consider. Do be a murder. Okay, how? How do you plan on giving me support? Just by flying above me? Okay. Wow. Nope. No! Alan! Got too busy trying to switch between items to get out the weapon that I wanted him to get. Look, I know I wasn't a fan of the mansion, right? The game where Bork Bork Crow kind of came from. But it has updated a few times since we checked it out originally. A revisit might be necessary. Ouch. Well, I mean, I think we really solidified Bork Bork Crow from Bloodborne, but there was also just the crow that wouldn't ever shut up in the mansion. Please. Men. Crow kept barking. It made a weird crow noise, and we all commented on it. And then I kept getting the crows confused with dogs in Bloodborne like you do. Please. It was a joint effort. Please. I need you all to stop hitting me in the fucking head. I can't see shit. I can't see shit. Oh my god. Okay. Not Tetris Light. Is Tetris Light okay? But is it okay? Fucking hell. Fucking hell! What good are you to me in a helicopter if you're not gonna do anything? Just the square part? Okay. I love Tetris Light. God. Where are you going? Where are you going? Why have you left? This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. You know what? Fuck it. Stop! I can't run anymore! Oh my god. Flip around, do a shoot. Jesus Christ. That was miserable. Fuck off, all of you. Fuck off, all of you. No, please. This is mean and rude, and I hate it. You're still around. Get gone. Stop! Woof! Excuse me. Get inside! Where is inside? If I just do this while I wander. But there are things over here. Okay. This is fine. My goodness. Okay. Well, here we go. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? This seems fine. Please. Stop. 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 All of you stop. Fuck it. Can you not hit me 5 billion times? Preferably. If you could not get a cheap shot in any time that you managed to land a hit on me, I would prefer it. Consider.
I recognized the logo on the power
Don't
plant
be a
sign.
dick.
I'd seen a version of it painted all over the area, signifying hidden caches of supplies.
Look, it's a safe haven. Get in. Let's go.
Hold it right there.
Miss Weaver, Cynthia, I'm a friend.
Prove it!
You knew Zane, Thomas Zane. You're the Lady of the Light in the song. You can help me.
About time. Young man, I've been waiting a very long time for you.
I love you,
It's in
Cynthia.
the well-lit room.
Excuse me?
What you'll need to drive the darkness back. The well-lit room is at the dam. I built the room to keep it safe.
Will it help me find Alice? Will it get me back to the cabin? Fine, let's go. I can get my friends to come back.
Nobody
with the
cares about
helicopter.
Alice. Honestly, man. Don't worry about her. She's a lost cause. Let's just move on with our lives.
Oh, we won't go outside. Never at night. That's rule number 1. You've been breaking the rules, young man, and where has that gotten us, Oh, I have a secret route. A lit route. Old water pipe.
Oh!
Something was damaged at the transformer yard. It's draining all the reserve power. Without it, the pipe will go dark. The power to the yard must be cut.
Let me guess. You want me to do it?
Young man, you're the one who likes to break the rules. I can
She has a
be
point.
outside in the dark. The kill switch is outside.
Alright, let's go. Oh, JK, that's not outside. Ma'am, where am I going? Here? It's here. Hi! Oh, that's the wrong weapon. Maybe it wasn't though! Okay, alright, okay. Hey, hey! Stop it! Also, apparently touching them, touching the lights doesn't kill you, or the wires.
To get her to help me. I hoped
Even though it
Weaver
did,
was dependable.
the one time.
I'd stumbled into this crazy world a little over a week ago. She had been living this insanity for decades.
Poor Cynthia. Poor Lamp Lady. We love Lamp Lady here. Just trying to see if there's anything cool over there, and there was not. Rule number 1, never go out at night. Darkness waits in my dreams. It's unfortunate. Let's go ahead and get our pistol out. Or revolver or whatever.
I could see the kill switch that would cut the power to the transformer yard. Now I had to find a way to reach it.
Yeah, about that, buddy. That is all of them, which means I'm not gonna have to worry about... What does that say? Rule number 3, always remember the lantern. My lantern! My lantern! It's going out. My pot is getting cold. No! Alan! 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 Idiot Alan!
I could see the kill switch that would cut the power to the transformer yard. Now I had to find a way to reach it.
How do I do this? There we go. Okay, we will slowly make our way across. These are worse than the than the logs in the forest. Rule number 2, keep the lights on. These are weird places to put your rules, ma'am. Go ahead and hit the kill switch. No, 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 no.
The transformer yard went dark and dead.
There we go.
Water pipe passage should now be good to go.
But can we get back? Nope. Okay, this is fine. Everything is fine. Don't throw garbage at me. Let's not do this. Oh, you're not even an issue because I solved it before I recognized that it was a problem. Hello? Okay, well... This is what I meant to do, and I have sort of screwed myself over. Please, it's too far away. That's also too far away. Alan, why do you have the tendency to eat everything either way too close to yourself or way too far away? Listen, Alan, buddy, we gotta talk about consistency here. Alright? Listen, buddy. Gotta make up your mind on how you're gonna throw things. Okay. Hey, lamp lady. We did it. Can we go?
This way, young man. Follow me. Come, come. The pipe's empty now. We're ready to go.
Yeah, let's go then. I'm ready.
This way. We need to go. I knew them both, Tom and Barbara. Had such a crush on him. Such a beautiful man. I was jealous. There was a part of me that was maybe a little glad when she had the accident.
Wowie.
And then Tom started writing and woke the darkness up. He tried to bring her back, but you can't do that. There are no free rides like that.
I'm starting to realize that.
In that case, young man, perhaps you're a smarter man than Tom was. The witch looked like her.
Her little shuffle,
but it
though.
wasn't. Barbara was sweet. He didn't understand until it was too late. He tried to undo it, wrote himself, her, everything he'd ever written out of the world. Oh, he was so famous. And afterward, no one knew. Oh, Tom. He left only one thing behind in my care, in case it happened again. Insurance. He trusted me. Or perhaps used me a little. Tom knew how I felt. Knew I wouldn't refuse him. I built the well-lit room and put it there.
Okay.
I've been waiting for you. We are characters trapped in a story you have written, and none of us will survive to see the end of it if the darkness isn't stopped.
I like how the texture for that wheel keeps going back to its starting texture.
Tom, that's the way he wrote it. He still
like the scuff marks keep freaking out.
Beyond, from below.
Do you want some help with that, maybe?
He saved us both with light.
Oh my god.
Darkness stays with you. You sustain.
Oh good, I don't have to wait the entire time.
Will take us directly to the well-lit
Holy
room.
shit.
Okay, I need to call my friends, tell them where we're going.
There's no cell signal down here. Oh,
Barry,
right.
We're headed to the dam in one of the pipes. Meet us there.
Hey, Mama.
I'll tell Sarah.
It's Sarah now?
Good morning.
Whoa! No! For the sweet love of...
Mama!
Barry! Barry! We gotta go see if they're okay.
No,
They're
Barry, you know.
probably dead. You must reach the well-lit room.
Sarah's probably
This is
dead.
no time
Barry
to
is
be a
probably
selfish
fine.
idiot.
That's my best friend.
Right, definitely hit by another bus. Alan, please.
Well, be a fool. I'll use the pipe. I'll meet you at the dam if you make it.
Alan, please. Barry will be fine. Barry has been You idiot. You absolute idiot. You
At least I didn't have to worry about her. She knew how to stay safe.
Alan, we were doing so well. Why is it that only now do you really care about how Barry is doing? Oh, goodness. Great. Birds aren't even an issue. Are they gonna come here? Okay. We're not gonna worry about him. It's fine, I'm sure. Alan, I need you to go across just a little faster. Okay. Consider for me that you hustle a little bit. Just a little. Just a tiny bit. I need you to pick up the pace.
Barry! Sheriff Breaker! Sarah!
They're fine.
The
They're
crash
all
site
fine.
looked bad, but as far as I could tell, the wreck was empty.
You barely glanced at it. The well-lit room! Okay. See, they're fine.
Barry! Barry! Hang in there, I'm coming!
Hey, pals. Hey, buddy. But wait, before we do any of that, what if there are things up here? Just taking care of them out there. That's great. I love that for us. Get out of here.
You know when to make an entrance, Wake. We were ready to make like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
I have a different ending in mind.
Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
No, I knew
you'd
you
be
were
all
fine,
right.
Barry.
How's that?
The Flaming Eye of Mordor?
Laugh it up, funny man. Do we have somewhere to go?
Weaver will meet us at the dam.
Okay. We got some nice items. We should reload. Also re-equip. Where? There they are. Okay. Fantastic. We said there were 6 chapters, right? Or episodes, or whatever the hell we're calling them. This is number 4, isn't it?
Your helicopter crash. landed in.
Yep. Okay.
Night
Cool. Cool.
Oh, I should have kept.
Wait, one more after this.
See those lights?
Is this
That's
5?
the elevator we need to take.
Did we finish 4 last time? Oh, okay. Thank you. Clearly, I know how to pay attention.
What the hell is that thing?
What is happening?
Oh, crap! There's more than one of them.
Nothing moves like that. It's impossible.
No, it's fine.
Ah! Al! Do something!
I've done a thing! It's fine!
He's too fast. I can't get a shot.
I don't know where he is. There, it's fine. Okay, cool. Well, we should definitely...
Was that it? Are we
It's only
safe?
been like an hour 40 since we
was-
started streaming,
wow.
so that's exciting.
I think we're okay.
We'll definitely have this one done by
Hey, Al, I got a
this
bad
evening.
feeling.
Let's keep our eyes
And
open.
I imagine...
Come on, Al. Couldn't
Right,
we just
I
wait
have
here?
lines, I must see
Please.
them. Cannot interrupt
Wait,
my
call the elevator.
pre-scripted
I'm keeping watch.
scripted
There's something
actions.
moving around.
Yeah, we'll definitely have this done by Wednesday, which is very, very exciting, because I think we'll do... Assuming this week / this weekend, I can get Tiny Bunny re-recorded / played through again to get us back to where we were. I have to double check all of the choices that we made so that all of that stays the same. But that might be our next week, or yeah, weekday game. Because I really want to see that one again. Oh, that's the wrong weapon. That's fine. We have a not insignificant amount of those. Ah! Why did you let him get so close?
I swear this is the slowest elevator in the world.
It's probably because it is. So yeah, we'll talk about doing Tiny Bunny, which shouldn't take us too long to get through. Lots of stuff for us to do though. So many new games to check out. I also have a bunch of new FMV games in my inventory that I want to play, which again I imagine those will take like a sit down or two to play. So we might just start breezing through a few games.
Al, hit the button.
I am hitting the button, Barry. I'm also trying to talk to people. Wait a minute, bud.
We're almost there. There's an entrance into the dam at the top. What's the plan,
Broken
Wade?
ale.
Well, Weaver's crazy, but she's got something Zane left behind. Something to fix this.
Gee, could you be a little more vague?
Thomas Zane? Seriously? Might as well be Paul Bunyan or Bigfoot.
Yeah, well, he was real.
Not yawns. I
Let's be
am
careful, okay?
tired.
Oh, jeez, I hate this.
There's a thermos over there. How many statistics? How many terrible thermoses are there? There are 100 and we have found 66. We have missed many. That's fine. Again, not necessarily going for a
Okay, Wade,
completionist run
there's a
here.
button over there that opens the door.
But wowee! I thought we had found more than that. Okay, how do we... Where? You said there's a button. Sarah. Ma'am. Here? It's here. Found it.
I think something's broken. Hold the
Oh.
button down so we can get in.
Oh. Oh, you want me to... Well, what about me? Hey, what about... What about me? Hey, what about me?
Ow! Ow! Wait! What's going on? We can get to the dam through here.
You should be in the dam now. I'll have to make it alone through the top.
Okay, wait. Good luck. Don't get yourself killed.
I keep thinking she's saying okay wait as opposed to okay wake. This was the way.
You gotta be kidding me.
Okay, it was kind of the way. Great.
Down, boy.
Don't say that so casually, Alan. It makes you sound like you're a cool dude, and you're not. You don't get one-liners. You're not cool enough for a one-liner, Alan. Consider. Well, that's a problem. Also, aside from the fact that this would be death, I think it would be fun to slide on those. Excluding the giant drop into the water that is very, very far below it, this would be awesome. Well, let's roll. You know, for a lady who has a tunnel directly to this fantastic room that she has constructed, she
I was
definitely has kind of put
Searchlight could easily
a lot of directional signs out and about the real world, or the above world. It's fine for people to try and like figure out how to get there. Seems unnecessary, honestly. Let's go. Please. I don't want to fight them. So we're not gonna. Okay, but what if I just do one of those? Let's do one of those numbers. Great. Can we not, with that bad
You will go no further.
yelling? I'm gonna have to run. I'm gonna have to run, aren't I?
Stop now.
I will not. Alan, come on. I need you to run the entire time. Actually and properly. Yikes. Nope, Alan says I am going to casually jog my way through all of this stuff that is falling and threatening to kill me. Just a light, easy run. Wouldn't want to strain ourselves now, would we? Alan. Hey, Alan. Hey, Alan. Come on. supposed to dodge that? Honestly. Are we all just tripping out? This is fine. Oh, that's so loud.
You made it. Well done. I'm glad I was
Right,
wrong.
Barry can dodge a bus.
Foolish
I
chance
think
to
we
take.
can
Don't
maybe
worry
just stay
about
out of the way.
noise. We're
Damn, I
safe.
was about to go for a drink. I can do a
have
high
looked
drink though.
after
Thank
the
you, buddy.
well-lit room for many, many years now. There is no shadow in the well-lit room. The power is fail-safe, and all the bulbs are numbered and changed.
Felt like a good time to get some
regularly
water.
based on
But
their
thank
make
you,
and
Nam, for the
model.
hydrate reminder.
Right.
Make sure y'all are taking some drinks as well. It is important. Also, don't forget that there is a community event. I think
There's an old army base at Raincoat
I
Point.
think Nem contributed to
It was
that this
active
stream.
during the Second World War.
I believe.
They
I think
operated
most
here
of you
back then.
have.
They must have built this.
Yes, they
But
did.
yeah, we do have the
It's my
Sinner
place
Sandwich community challenge up. If we make it, I will make the Sinner Sandwich and I will consume it on stream.
Take it.
Oh, you forgot during the afternoon stream. That's fair. There were
33 and
a significant amount of people who did.
And I don't want to climb up the
donate
ladder to
those.
change
So,
them because it's very
progress
late,
is being
and I'm
made.
tired. And if you
Also,
take it,
she
I
said
won't
there's not a
have to
single
do that
shadow in the
anymore.
well-lit room, and there 100% are shadows in here. I see them.
The page was autobiographical, a memory from my childhood. But I didn't write this. It was a page written by Thomas Zane. None of them were supposed to exist anymore.
Alan, 7 years old, would fight sleep to the bitter end. When he did sleep, he soon woke up, screaming, the nightmares fresh in his mind. One evening, his mother, sitting by his bed, offered him an old light switch. She called it the clicker, and flicking the switch would turn on a magical light that would drive the beast away. To imbue the talisman with all possible power, she added that it had been given to her by Alan's father. Alan never knew him, and anything of his took on mythical proportions in his mind. With the clicker firmly in his hand,
This
Alan
scene,
finally
though.
slept like a baby. Now, almost 30 years later, Alan thought of this as he stood on the rim of Cauldron Lake, the clicker in his hand. He took a deep breath and jumped.
My mind swirled. I'd given the clicker to Alice, yet it was here. Zane had written it into existence in a story I had written. I can get to her now. I can finish this.
Or do you think Alan just low-key plagiarized Thomas? I think that was Alan admitting that he plagiarized his story. Is this the end of the chapter? Shit, do you think we're not gonna finish this in an hour?
Previously
Go
on
ahead and
Alan
skip
Wake, I wrote a
both of
horror
these.
story that is...
And let's just get into it. You are barely on that bed, man. Yeah, there's no way we're gonna finish this in an hour. Unless...
I had a hangover. My head was about to explode and the light hurt my eyes. I needed my sunglasses and painkillers to dull the pain.
Not
In one of my final
sunglasses
moments of
indoors.
self-deception, I swore to quit drinking.
Can we stop with the bad sound?
The sunglasses made the world look bearable. Now I could keep my eyes open
Oh,
without feeling like a vampire in the
no.
sun. I wasn't sure I'd make it out there without some painkillers.
Not cool face.
The pills
Not.
worked fast. The prospect
Nevin
of being
Travis,
awake
same
started to
brain.
seem bearable again.
Holy shit. Oh no! Alan, please! We thought you were a douchebag before, but look at you now!
There was a message waiting for me on the machine.
Hold on. Ah! Another QR code! Hold on. We're gonna do the thing that we do where I scan it and then I put it in stream spoiler discussion. Again, just for those who are interested in it. I think they're kind of neat. I like checking them out. Open in browser. Open in browser. Open in browser. Oh, it's Vision 2. Maybe we didn't miss one. Okay. No, wait, we've seen this one. Me being extremely confused. Yeah, this is just a repeat. Weird. Hold on a second, sorry. We have been in the apartment before. I just didn't think that they would put, like, the same code there twice. I do like that these were posted 7 months ago. So, like, the QR codes, I think, are, like, a new addition specifically for the, remaster. I could be extremely wrong about that, though. So, if anyone happens to know if they were available in the original. Cool. Oh, Travis, you've been given too much power to be able to put sunglasses on all of the emotes. Very good. Very good. Also, I know I'm supposed to listen to the voicemail, but I wanted to see if there was anything in the apartment, and I'm not allowed to run in the apartment, and that is extremely upsetting.
New message. Al, are you still asleep? Wakey, wakey! You should have your show.
That is my last name.
If Alice wasn't too mad to record it, she called me earlier and really.
Also, TiVo. Who remembers TiVo? Holy shit!
Al, look, I'm saying this as your friend.
I haven't thought about TiVo in a hot minute.
I'll talk to you later, Al. Watch the show.
Turn on the TV. What if I don't want to?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Harry Gallic Show.
I do like that they use, like, actual video.
We have
for
a
these.
great show tonight. I've been talking with the best-selling author Alan Wake about his new book, The Sudden Stop.
Yeah, good read. Go buy it.
No, it is a good read. Look, I'm gonna be honest here. Is that wise?
Awkward clapping.
No.
Clapping? Clapping.
I got people who give me the lowdown on books. I'm a busy guy. But this one, I actually read from cover to cover. I mean, I'm a big fan.
Wow, thanks.
Now, this might be a spoiler
Wow,
for those who haven't read the
thanks.
book yet. Based on the sales figures, there's 2 people out there who haven't
The
read
middle
the book
smiley emote is very good.
But this last book is all about the death of the main character, the hard-boiled New York detective, Alex Casey. Now, there's been a lot of outrage about this. Why the hell did you kill Casey? What the hell were you thinking, man?
Good riddance. No, seriously though. 7 years and 6 books is a long time. He was a gloomy guy to spend all your working hours with, and it was a good run.
Favorite of the
But
ones
it's time
where the
to explore
glasses
new
don't line
things.
up just right. They are very good.
From the old for me.
You selfish bastard, always thinking of yourself. You've certainly given us a lot of
The
entertainment.
mother one. Mother with sunglasses,
Now
very
you mention it,
powerful.
Casey was a gloomy
But
guy.
also,
Very
any
much
and
like
all of
his
the
love
serial
life
ones.
with the lady. Was that
They're all good, honestly.
autobiographical in any way?
Yeah, no kidding. Casey's lady friends tended to die on him. With Casey, it was all about his pain. No, nothing autobiographical about that. I'm a happily married man. My wife is my muse.
Well, congratulations. That's great to
What
hear.
I'm hearing is Alan
So,
wants to kill
how's
his
the
wife.
publicity tour been treating you?
Good.
Mama.
Great.
She's
But
right,
I gotta
she's right
say,
over
I'm
here.
glad to be
Hold on.
back home in
Come
New York.
Well, you've certainly been on the news a lot lately. Lots of parties and,
It's a baby.
you got into a fight with some paparazzi.
Oh, man. Well, that guy was really in my face. I lost my temper. I know that wasn't cool.
You are famous for that temper.
Well, I did also write several books.
Well, your latest latest novel is called The Sudden Stop, and it's in bookstores now. Go get it. That means the two of you.
She is a very cool cat. Would you like to?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all
lap?
we have for you tonight. I want to thank all
Snuggle
our
a little
guests
bit?
for the evening: Alan Wake, Sam Lake. Once more, do the face for us, Sam.
That's a terrible face. Please don't make that face anymore.
Poets of the Fall. Thank you.
Pretty alright.
At least I've been funny.
I mean,
told myself I could live
there's
with
lots of cool cats on the internet, honestly.
Watch the show?
I didn't say anything stupid if that's what you want to know.
Okay, Grumpy. You want an aspirin or something?
I've already
Are you
taken
still
some.
with me about drinking now?
You know what? Go back to sleep, Alan.
Sorry, she's purring and she's very happy, and it makes me happy.
What? Now you can't even talk to me?
Well, this morning I was angry because you said you'd be home at midnight and you showed
Yeah,
up
how
at
was
7 a.m.
Conrad?
and passed out in mid-sentence.
Fill us in
Now
on the
I'm over
cat
it.
stuff.
Are
Hey,
you
no
angry?
biting.
This goddamn tour. It's gotten out of hand.
No biting.
Oh, honey.
Thank you.
It's almost over, right? We can
You know,
get back
it's because
to
you're
normal.
just very
and you can
excited,
start writing
but no
again.
biting.
I'm sorry, honey.
Alan, you're not thinking straight. Just take a shower and go back to bed, huh?
Yeah, you're right, honey. I'm sorry. Once this is over, let's go away together. A vacation. Just you and me. Some peace and quiet.
We love a good chill cat. Whenever you get a chance and you would like to share, you should share pictures of
the
her.
clicker was the key to the cabin.
I would love to see her.
I had to return to Cauldron Lake to save Alice.
I don't bite people I love. Lamia just gets overstimulated and very
I'm going
excited.
back to
and
the
it's
lake
like, I have to
finish
do a
this.
chomp
I'm going to
now.
write an ending to the story in the manuscript on my own terms, to make it all right.
Why can't you just write it here?
The last page is still in the typewriter. I need to read it first. Everything needs to be just right. Zane tried to cut some corners, and it didn't end well.
Okay, ready when you are.
I'm sorry, Sarah, but I need to do this alone. Barry, take her gun.
It's all good. No pressure,
Miss
no
Luna,
rush.
close the door
Just
when
know
you're
that we're invested. Barry! Barry hugs.
Good luck, Al.
Alright.
See you later.
Oh, our man's is crying!
When I got out, it was warm and
I got a
sunny.
stinky cat.
I'd flicked the switch of the clicker. Had it done this? I didn't stop to question it. I
No,
had to
we
take
had been
advantage of
out
the
for
sunlight to
many
get to the
hours,
lake.
Alan.
On Zane's page, I'd stood on the rim of Cauldron Lake, about to use the clicker. That's where I was headed.
She's very content, and that makes me very happy. When Lamia gets sick, she tends to not want to snuggle because she doesn't feel very good, and it makes sense. So the fact that she is as happy as she is to get some snuggles makes me very happy because it means that she's feeling a smidge better. Still
Alone,
not all the way there,
in
but we're
daylight,
getting it.
surrounded by the beauty of the Pacific Northwest landscape. It was
That's
hard
cool.
not to let doubt creep in one last time. I could still chalk everything up to a dream, a delusion. I had enough imagination to make up something like this, having been in the cabin all this time, trapped in a story inside my head, gone mad from grief over Alice's death like Hartman had claimed. There would be no way of knowing. I told myself it didn't really matter. My course was set.
What's over here, though? This is the opposite direction of our goal, and I would like to know what's over here. A dead end. Absolutely nothing. Not even a manuscript page? Or... Please, camera. Or a thermos. Just a dead end. Great. The camera, when you are driving a car, is so bad. It's so bad. I want to look for stuff, but also I want to continue on. I don't care enough to stop. Why did you like slam on the brakes, Alan? If it's like out in the open, not super far out of the way, I'll stop and I'll grab stuff. But also, not gonna bother, you know? Please. Okay, well, I guess we have to bother. Can I go around, perhaps? That looks like death. So we won't do that, but is there anything in here? Absolutely not. There's nothing in there. Just boxes covering the windows. Alan, come on. In a wide open space. Can I fall down here? Or am I gonna die? I am going to die. We have died. We have ragdolled and died.
Alone, in daylight,
No.
surrounded by the beauty of the Pacific Northwest landscape. It was hard not to let doubt creep in one last time. I
Alan's
could still
gonna do
chalk
more than trip
everything
if he
up to
keeps
a
this
dream,
nonsense
a
up.
delusion. I had enough imagination to make up something like this. Having been in the cabin all this time, trapped in a story inside my head, gone mad from grief over Alice's death like Hartman had claimed, there would be no way of knowing. I told myself it didn't really matter. My course was set.
Alan, my guy, I need you to get on the level, alright? Is it this way? Do you want me to go this way? That kind of looks like the way, a way I can go. I have turned the wrong way. Alright. Hey, maybe let me sneak past? Not the way, but there is stuff down here. That's fine. Gotten items. Some ammo. And some things. I don't want to drive this anymore. Oh my god, she's got such big purrs going. Lamia says lub. Oh, goodness. Okay, at least there are items around. It's not... We haven't just come down here for nothing. We have a lot of good things, actually. Alright. Can I get into this car? Right? That was a lot of good crud. I am pleased with this. Now the question is, how the fuck do I get past here? Tunnel. Okay.
The darkness had touched me. There was a link between us, always would be. I could feel its presence again, getting closer.
Okay, but can I get a flashlight? I am still missing a flashlight.
I will kill your wife.
Magic flashlight. Why am I jumping? Alan, why are we jumping? Why are you suddenly such a worse shot than you were before? We weren't doing good beforehand, but that was like 100 times more inaccurate. Wait, do I have... I do have my big flashlight. Good. Good. You love to see it. Honestly. Reload. Oh, I can't. I only have 5 bullets. That's fine. Acceptable, I suppose. I really just have to run because there's no car. Oh, alright, this is fine. How about that rider? There's a car. Why couldn't you have just parked that closer to where we got out? Wait, there was a car back there, wasn't there? It's just not one that I recognized. That's fine. Please. LOL. LOL! Oh, shit! That was very good! Nah, I think we're fine. Just a minor bump in the road. I love that. It was very good. Got anything in here? Can I go in here? Hi, Lamia.
Based on the signature in the motel register, Agent Nightingale had stayed here, in room number 2.
Do you want me to go in there? Ooh, I do kind of want to switch to the shotgun. I think the hunting rifle is better than the shotgun, but I love...
This had obviously been the room where Agent Nightingale had stayed when he hadn't been busy harassing me.
This man... Dan, you live like this? Okay, like... Is he just, like, obsessed with your wife, then? No, there are pictures of other people in there. Actually, I don't think any of these are your wife. It's fine. Was I supposed to glean some sort of important information from this?
Could have fooled me, pal.
You wanna come here? Would you like to come here? I'll just get really close to them before shooting. Get in. Mommy, you are making me, like, sit kind of funky. Can't move her, though. She's so pleased. She's so happy. Hunting rifle one-shots the fast guys, but can't one-shot the regular guys. Okay. Well, I don't mind stuffing a shotgun up their noses. This does please me, actually. Just get all up and close and personal with the men's. Please. Sometimes you just gotta... Alan, get out of the car. Alan, get out of the car. Alan, back up. Thank you. Look, I don't know if this is a double-barreled shotgun. It is. It is a double-barreled shotgun. That's one barrel per nostril. It's true. Sometimes you gotta put a shotgun up someone's nose Who's that? Who's that over there? Hello?
What the hell?
Don't worry about it. Hey, camera, do you want to not wander around so I can't see you? How about you let me focus? Alan! You fucking goober. Lamia, my foot is falling asleep, babe. I can't keep sitting like this, honey. Hold on. Can we just man spread a little bit and keep you content? We can! Sometimes she doesn't like it when I don't have my legs crossed. She is fine with it this time. Great, because my foot was falling asleep. Anything for you, llama. Alan, come on. Are you shitting me? There's too much garbage on this freaking bridge. Come on. It is sometimes hard to gauge whether or not the game wants you to run. Just like run away from everything or stand and fight everything. This felt like a runaway kind of a situation, but apparently I should take my time to destroy all the bad possessed objects.
What the hell?
I am sick of this motherfucking garbage on this motherfucking bridge. Hear me out. It's all bad here. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely a just take care of the garbage before you run through kind of a situation. Even though it kind of feels like it should be a run through. Ignore the garbage. Kind of a situation. Okay, it's fine. Bye, tire. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. Oh my god. Please. Stop! Why are you so mean to me?
Nice to see you too.
Alan, stop. You sound like an absolute silly person. I get it. Is there anything cool over there? Absolutely not. Sometimes you just gotta run into a man. Never tell him that he's just a road bump. Hi, other car! This is a problem. camera. Stop. You're fine, car. I promise. You are A-okay. Please, bridge. Please, bridge. Bridge, please. That bus just yeeted me out of the car. Bus said, "No more car, Alan. Get out!" And out we got. Holy shit, please. Oh my god. This should tell you all to wear your seatbelts. Give me the pump action shotgun. Let's go. I like that we did, like, just phase out of the car, just entirely. We're like, nope, we are done with this vehicle. Get out. I know I don't need to do this, but I like the noises it makes. Makes me feel like I'm doing a thing. Give me the flares. Give me the flares. Someone running up on me? They are. Thought I heard footsteps. Hey, listen. Oh my god. Get away from me. You are a beefy man. Oof. Oof. I would like to just leave. Consider not whacking me for half of my fucking health. There are too many men here. I'm not doing all these again. It's not great. Also, I see them over there. They think they're being sneaky. There are too many men in this freaking tunnel. Okay, I'm gonna kind of get rid of some of these. Take a couple of shells up the nose. It's fine. I have not tried putting man in the hole. I don't got time for that. Please, I was hitting dog. Please! Listen. I'll have to consider. I will consider putting man in hole. I may not actually put man in hole, but I will think about putting man in hole. But only think, not do. Come Come here. Please! They should not be able to get 2 hits on me. Like... Lamia, can you move your head just a little bit? Hey kitten, consider. Sweet little baby. Sweet little baby. I love you, but also you're kind of in the way. Hey mama. Hi Sarah! We're doing alright. We are getting absolutely destroyed by a bunch of shadow men. Ooh, that's far too many of you now. But we're doing alright! Oh, fuck. Well, we were doing alright. No, we're still fine. Everything is fine here. How's it going? How are you doing? How are things? Get got. Oh, no. No matter what I do, it's not good. It's fine. Got this bit handled. It's this bit that's a little more difficult. It's fine. We're here. Things are going. But yeah, how's it going for you? How are you doing? I heard you got snowed in. Yeah, let's stick with this. Come on. Come on. Come on. Please! I thought you were reloaded! Whoa! Okay, alright. Oh no! Well, at least you got to go home. So that's exciting. Surprise night off! It always sucks, like, when you do go in and then get told to go home, but also, that still means you get to go home. We're here for it. Thank you, Storm. Alright, no. No. Back up. Excuse you. Sirs. It's fine. Everything is fine. It's all fine. Okay. Well, enjoy your surprise day off. Come hang out for a little bit. We still got like a half an hour before stream ends. Again, I don't think we're finishing this tonight, despite the fact that we are getting close to it. I have a flashlight. And then, oh. I do have a flare gun that I've been using every once in a while. But we are getting them with a flashlight, and then shooting them with a revolver. Shadow men hate water. Not water. What? Light. Brain. Please. I need you marginally functional. Yeah, they're shadow monsters. We gotta do a hit with some lights. Not water. It's all good. Alright. That is a car that I can take. I need to take the car. More like Alan Lake, am I right? Alright, there we go. Woof. Not extra trucks. I didn't stop in time. That's fine. Please stop making me get out of my car. Where do you want me to go? Up here? Up here. They tried to warn me, but also... to get some extra rest tonight in preparation for all the extra tomorrows. Do you got wheels again? Okay. Do you have to stop? No, though, now that we're here. So I gotta pick stuff up. Maybe. Possibly. Secrets? Are you secret arrow or are you go this way arrow? You are secret arrow. Fantastic. I do hear you. Okay. No, stop. I don't want the flare gun. I want my revolver. Thank you very much. There we go. Okay. You know, when there's not 20 of them swarming me, it is manageable. And we can handle it fairly decently. But, there's a whole heck of a lot of them sometimes. That makes it difficult. What does this say? All visitors must see the yard manager. You must sign a liability waiver before entering the yard. If you're looking for a specific part, ask for it first. For you pull it, you must bring your own tools. Wear protective clothing. Warning, junk piles may shift. Hazardous area. Hi, kitten. Would you like a quick little chin scritch? Little chin scritches. Lamia is so very happy. Hold on a second. Gotta do a quick little shift. She was falling into my lap. There you go. There you go, kitten. You can't sneak up on me, my guy. Please stop. I mean, sometimes these guys can sneak up on me. But also, generally, cannot. I'll hear them stomping their way towards me. They're very loud about that. Up we go, I guess. Hi. Give me those flashbangs! Oh, hiccups. Ow. Look, flashlights are powerful things. Flashlights and teddy bears. Hi. I don't want the flare gun for a single man. There we go. Beautiful. Let's do this. Come here. Ah, I missed! Oh, Alan. I do wish that there was a better, like, aim mechanic in this game as opposed to, like, I mean, you're supposed to use your, like, flashlight as sort of, like, the reticle, right? But it's not accurate by any means. Yeah, I mean, like, usually it's not too much of an issue, but there are times where it's like, I wish I was a little more, especially when I'm that close, it's like, I shouldn't be missing those kinds of shots. Yet here we are. I am taking my car in here. You cannot stop me, game. I don't think you're trying to stop me. You will probably try to steal my car, though, as this is a junkyard fuck. This feels like a detour that I should not be taking. Hey game, where am I going? Hey game. There's a bunch of stuff over here though. Is this where I'm supposed to be? It's so bright. Please. Less bright. This is definitely where I'm supposed to be. Right? The game sort of just goes, is this where you're supposed to be? The lights normally mean you're doing it right, but also sometimes. Hey, be careful. You can't crush me. No. It's so angry! I need you to not, game. He double tapped me, for sure. And it's one of those enemies where you're like, I think I will eventually hurt you if I focus long enough, but also it doesn't quite look like I am ever hurting you. So... maybe I just throw a couple flashbangs at it. Maybe we just throw a couple flashbangs at it. What if I... get back up there? Please, stop. I understand that it's coming to life. I need you to not refocus. Echo versus Alan. Who wins? You know what? Nope, car is broke. Car is broke. Yeah, there it goes. Which is like, it's fine if it, well, I guess it's not, I'm not gonna say it's fine because it's not. I need to know that what I'm doing is hurting it, and I need it to not hurt me as much as it does, especially when there are 5 billion men around! There we go! We've done it. And usually I can get these things done on, like, the second or third try, depending. But it's just like... and at this point I'm critiquing a game that is over 10 years old. But especially with, like, since the remaster just came out, it's like, y'all could have addressed some of these things. Just let me know that what I'm doing is hurting it. We have that same issue with Unsound Mind. I just need some sort of, even tiny confirmation that the actions that I am doing are the proper actions. That's all. Right? 100%. Because that was a big thing with, like, Unsound Mind, especially during some of the boss fights, was there was some, like, it would kind of let you know that what you were doing against a boss was helping, but there were plenty of times when it just, like, not really doing anything. Well, and there have been a couple of enemies that, like, we've had the audio feedback saying that, like, you were damaging it, but then it just never went down, and he wouldn't go down.
I'd acted as if I knew
both.
what I was
doing. I
doing.
need both the audio and the
I was
visual.
Operating on the shifting logic of a dream. I had to fight my way to the lake through the horrors of the night. I had to flick an old battered light switch imbued with childhood magic. I had to write a happy ending to a horror story. I had to save my wife from the dark prison she was being held in.
Let's go. But yeah, it's not too bad. Because like I said, usually by, like, you die the once and you're like, okay, I understand what I'm supposed to do now. But there are times where it's just like, I just need you to, like, tell me, is this correct? Game, am I doing it right? Have I logicked this properly? That goes there now. Yeah. That, I think that's definitely still more in, like, reference to, like, Unsound Mind, where it's like, you can't, especially with the levels where you're, like, running around, and the enemy is an or, like, the boss, what ends up being the boss is, like, an ever-present, part of the level, and has established, you cannot kill this now, You just have to be clever and run around it. And
I
then
will never give her to you.
it gets to the point where it's like, oh, that's so loud. Please get in there, Alan. I don't know what's happening, but I want you to get in here. Right? I don't know. For things like that, I feel like it is, even if it comes off as being ridiculously obvious, that kind of, I don't want to just keep saying feedback, but that's what it is. That kind of feedback is so important. I would rather you make it, like, super over the top and, like, completely 100% affirm that the actions being taken are the correct ones than not at all. Please, you're too close. This is the wrong weapon! Oh, no. There we go. Okay. Dr. Salvador. Okay. This is fine. Everything is fine. Oof. I want to check all of these for items, but there are none here. What is happening? Okay, that's fine. Alan, jump! Alan, jump! Oh. Not even an issue. I can't turn this as far as I would like to. This is a problem. Alan. Hey, buddy. Hey, pal. Ah! Okay. Alright. Look here. I have a Lamia in my lap. You have put me back so far. Hold on. I just need to... She has made herself so comfortable in this dang blanket. And I don't want to, like, disturb her, I say as I lift her up. But she's so in the way. I love you so much. My little purry beast. Can you lay down right there? Get comfy and cozy and snuggled in. I'm not gonna hold you anymore. A, my lap is too warm. B, you are too heavy. And C, you're making it very difficult for me to play my dang game, okay? Hold on a second. Oh, my knees. Oh, okay. This is fine. Everything is fine.
I had to write a happy ending to a horror story. I had to save my wife from the dark prison she was
Also,
being
this
held
man
in.
making it sound like it's hard to have a happy ending with a horror story. It's possible, my guy. Fairly easy, too, as long as you're a decent writer, which I realize is definitely a problem for Alan. But that's okay. Can't all be perfect. Not me still shit-talking Alan over here. Okay. I have too much shotgun ammo. You know what? I don't know that it's worth it.
I will never give her to you.
Yeah, you're throwing stuff, you're being spooky, I get it. Please. What? What?
Imbued with childhood magic. I had to write a happy ending to a horror story.
Alright, well, we just got sucked up into the sky like you do. I think I went too far ahead before I was supposed to. It's fine. Please, I just don't want to have to keep running through here and recollecting everything. That's all. I just don't want to have to keep recollecting everything.
I will never give her to you.
Alan, please. I don't want to hear the bad screaming again. Yeah, ooh, spooky. Can I go through there now? That doesn't look safe to go through. Again, point blank, and I am missing. Because why wouldn't we just shoot over the man's head? Hi! Thank you for the clip. Oh my god, go! Get! Be gone, man! Honestly though, what? Alan, what? Hey, game, I can't see entirely based on the angle that you are showing me here. We love a good void visit. Hey. Right, you did the camera wrong, game? Consider. Hey, come here. Do you just want to walk through? Just walk through and not stab me! Consider not stabbing! Oh, this is fine. No, 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 no! Do your job, camera. Okay, well, we still have a ton of flashbangs, so I'm not terribly upset about having to spam that, but also, please. Please. Okay, are we happy with that, Alan? Can you get through? Good job, buddy. You're doing the basics. Give me the manuscript. So what time is it? Okay. Right, this is very much looking endgame. Maybe we will just finish this tonight. We got like 15 minutes until the end of stream. I wasn't expecting us to get through this in like an hour. Right? We might as well. Especially since it's definitely not going to be enough for a full stream on Wednesday. Like, I knew, like, this is the last chapter. We understood that. We knew that. But we had been managing about...
near a peak in the distance. That's where Cauldron Lake was.
Okay. We had been managing about a chapter per stream. So I figured that this would take us a little longer than it did, but you know what? It's fine. Let's just go. Let's do it. Hey, do you wanna scoot past? Hey, Alan, do you wanna... Hey, Alan, do you wanna get past that? Hey, Alan? Hey, Alan. Alan. Please. Release the brake. Right? No, I think we might as well just finish this. Unless there's suddenly, like, tons more to do, but I think we'll just do it. Let's just do it. And then we'll be able to start a brand new game on Wednesday. That does kind of speed up the timeline that I had for Tiny Bunny. But also, we could probably do one of the... Oh, this is fine. This is fine. We could do one of the FMV games I have lined up on Wednesday. We're never gonna run out of games. Fruity, you never have to worry about that. You never gotta worry about that. That does bring up a good point, though. If I do one of the FMV games, I have two, neither of which I can tell you what they're about, but if you want, you can look them up. But I have two. One's called Erica, and I think that's like supposed to be like a thriller or whatever. And then there's one that Nem recently gifted me called The Shape-Shifting Detective. That looks pretty interesting, and that I've had on my wish list for a little while. You can check either of those out. Those tend to be fairly short. Like I said, we could probably get it done in a single sitting. Otherwise... I think what else I got. Figure it out. Hey birds. Hey birds. Hey birds. So many. So dang many. It's great. Well, I do like the FMV games, though. Just because they're good, short, sort of like, you can sit down, get them done in a couple hours. Some of them have some, like, replayability to them because there's multiple endings or whatever, but honestly, you're good after one attempt. Who hit me? What hit me? We do also need to, figure out which route we want to go for Cemetery Mary on Friday. Surprise goop puddle. I see. That makes sense. This is why you always get rid of the goop. I don't want to deal with any of you. I just don't want to deal with any of them. Let's just flashbang them out of existence. Sir. Great. What was I saying? We need to figure out which route we want to take with Cemetery Mary. Like, do we want to hang out with Crovin? Do we want to hang out with Twyla? What do we want? Do we want to try and shoot for the good end? Which I probably will. Or like the true end, not the good end. Which I would probably need a guide and or Arcade's assistance with. I don't necessarily want to do the true end unless everyone's like super into it. But yeah, we gotta figure that out too. There's lots going on. Lots of things happening this week. Which I'm excited about. Alright. My god. It's just running. It's just so much running. You like Crowboy? I also like Crowboy. We could do a Croven run. See what his shtick is all about. Ah! It's the fast boys. Okay, that's fine. You know why? Because no, I did that bad. Stop shooting it past them, Alan! You absolute useless being. There we go. It's a good thing I have as many flares as I do. Boy, howdy. Rovin's storyline, cemetery. Ah! Please. Please. Did I get both of them? No, I can still hear the running man. What is happening over here? Thermos! Stop! Stop with the boats! Stop with the sky boats! Please! Alan! Alan! My god. Oh! Oh! That wasn't a flare! That was not a flare! I thought I had the flare out. I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. They're gonna bottleneck and I'm gonna shoot them and it's gonna... It was not. It wasn't. Now I'm back here. This is so far. Game, why are you so mean sometimes? You've been very good about checkpoints being not terribly far away. Yeah, so if you use a flare gun, it explodes, and any of the enemies that are nearby, usually, will also explode with it, which is very exciting. Hey. Hey. That one kind of missed. That's unfortunate. I forgot the men were made of shadows, and I thought that shooting them with a revolver would be enough. It was not. Please. Please. Okay. It's true. Flare guns are so good. Hard. Like, a single hit from them already takes me down by like a quarter of my health practically. 2 hits and it's over. Come on, buddies. Ugh. I need you to not. I just want them to die. Yeah, if you get hit by that first one, you're just stuck and you have to take both hits. Either make them hit hard and hit just the once, or have both hits land and have them not take as much damage. It's ridiculous. Come here. I don't think that got him. Ooh. That got Fast Man. Speed Demon over here, taken care of. Not even an issue. Okay. His dodge is so bad. Alan's dodge is just so bad. And if you don't time it, like, even before they swing, then you're just kind of, like, screwed. It's not a kind system. And not in the, like, well, if you just, like, figure out how to work with it, then it's fine. It's just, it's very, like, luck-based, honestly. Okay, we are getting close to where... No, there's more men here. Right. Don't shoot past them, Alan! Alan! Listen. Okay, that got the fast guy. Everyone else I can deal with. Not well. But at least they are manageable. Let's go ahead and do My flare gun is equipped. Stop, stop. Give me control of my freaking... Stop! Ah! You did get the checkpoint at least. Okay. Good. Good. I don't know how I missed the checkpoint the first time we came through here, but we did, but we have it now, so it's a little better. Yeah, no, the dodge does not work for possessed objects at all. Like, at all. If you manage to dodge those, it's just pure luck. Nothing else. Okay, there's both of them taken care of. Stop. Stop. I want control of my camera. Don't do this nonsense where I can't see what's happening because you want me to look at the big spooky thing that's flying out of the sky. Nope, let's just flashbang. It's flashbang time. It's flashbang time! Where are they? Is that both or just one of them? I think that was both. Ooh. Great. Great. Give me the thermos. Give me the flashbangs. Get me out of here. What are we doing? Sounded like somebody was running at me. It's because there was someone running at me. Stop! Stop! I live in the tree now! Where is he? There we go. Okay. Not sloshy! I know the exact feeling, and I both love and hate it. I hope it was all delicious, though. The real question is, do you like rolling over and hearing everything in your tum-tum go whoosh, 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 whoosh? Good. I'm glad it was good broth at the very least. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Well, that's because you ate all broth. Broth is not always particularly filling, delicious as it may be. Stop. Soon, though? Soon nachos? I just want pizza. It is a lake town. There are boats everywhere. But no, ever since Barry mentioned ordering pizza, I was like, I would very much appreciate some pizza right now. It'd be great. Pizza, 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 pizza. Also, yes, so nachos. Perfect. Perfect. I love that for you. Right? Pizza sounds fantastic. The darkness wears her face. Okay. Darkness, don't wear faces that aren't yours. Yeah, but consider more pizza. What's wrong with more pizza? Okay, I have too much revolver ammo. Push the button.
I needed to get the generator running.
No. Nice. I wish we had a 7-Eleven around here. I do, like, we have some pretty good gas station food in the area. But, like, genuinely miss 7-Eleven. Pizza stash. You gotta buy yourself a freezer. Specifically for pizza needs. That man just touched a wire and exploded. And I loved it. Let's just put this right here. Let's just put this right here. Just put this right here. Please. Please. Whoa. But also consider, pizza is the food of the gods. But also I get it. But also pizza. But also pizza. What if I want to become cheese? What if my goal in life is to become cheese? Okay, alright, look here. Where is this dang generator? Or is it on now? Does it miraculously work now? It does. I don't know what I did, but I did a thing? You have food at home. No, please. Okay. Use. That was also a checkpoint. You love to see it. I should consider doing an eat post-stream. I had a bit of a snack before I started. Could do with more of a snack. A full meal, if you will. Okay, cannot pick up any more items.
Turn back now.
I will not. Stop it. I hate that. Fuck it! That did, like, no damage. I fully understand that problem. I need to get, like, I don't know, I just need to not be here, but that's a whole other issue. Oh, battery. There we go. Hello? Well, that scarecrow is terrifying.
Do as you're told.
No. No! I will not! Oh, okay, this hurts me. I see. Hi, Devo. My little meow. My sweet little boy.
Alice never loved
It's
you.
not Fuck, I need to watch what I say. Not if this hurts you. This hurts. This hurts. Assume direct control. Ah! Why? Why are there certain very dumb parts of this game that scare the shit out of me? This is so loud. Oh my god. It's Devo. He say what? Hi, sweet Leon. My little boy. Hi, hi, hi. At this point, I just am not even gonna bother trying to dodge all that stuff. I will just face tank it.
You can't win.
Yes, I can. Eee! Just eat that in there, I guess. I think this is very end. I do believe that this is it. Is this doing anything? I don't think it is. Hold on. Do you want me to do this? This is what you wanted me to do, I understand. I thought these were regular, like, pick up and hold flares, not shooting flares, you know? These birds. I have no idea where that went. Is this it? Is this it? Is this the end? Is this where the end that we all hated comes from? There's still just a little bit more, but this is basically it. This is basically it. We're there. This is absolute end game. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Hell!
Shh, baby. You were having a bad dream. It was just another nightmare.
No,
Everything's fine. You're home.
it wasn't a dream.
Everything's fine.
Turn the
Alice,
lights
you
on.
sound a little funny.
Turn the lights on!
Shh, baby. The power's out. There's no light. Come back to bed and I'll make you forget all about your fear of the dark.
Nope.
My fear? It's your fear. Why aren't you afraid?
You're not Alice. Turn the lights on now. Where's the clicker? What did you do with it?
Alan, you're scaring me now. Come back to bed.
No!
You taking your pills? Do you want me to call Dr.
Clicker.
Hartman?
Come back to bed, Alan.
Clicker.
Come back to bed, Tom.
I read your manuscript. It's brilliant. Departure is your best work yet. You're a genius.
Gib. Gib clicker. Oh, look, it's a potato! I love potatoes.
You must find your way to the cabin. It stands in your way. It won't let you pass.
Potato buddy.
It has no heart. It's filled with darkness. You must fill its heart with light.
Mr. Potato Head. Not spooky, Alan. like it when Alan smiles.
Don't mind him. He's Mr. Your friends will meet him when you're gone.
I don't like him. Hi, Emmy. How's it going,
Use the
friendo?
clicker.
Use the clicker. Potato Buddy shows up to remind Alan that his friends are his power and Kingdom Hearts is life. Oh no. My friends are my power. Thermos. Nice. Bird. Barrel. Phone. Shopping cart. Great. Trying to let my battery increase a little bit.
Idea of a path.
Good for you, Alan. What is this? That's a telephone pole. Ouch. Why do ideas hurt?
I'm leaving you.
What?
I'm leaving
Bye,
you.
Alice.
I met someone. I'm in love with someone else.
Alice? No, what do you say? You can't.
You don't
Just gonna...
How could you? You don't even love yourself. All you do is torture yourself with work you can't do anymore.
No, I love you more than anything in the world. You're my muse.
I'm not.
Who are you? What have you done with my Alice?
I'm letting my, again, like I said, I'm letting my battery kind of charge. I'm doing it slowly.
Stop! Put the light back on!
It wasn't true. Nothing like that had ever happened.
Like how they both were... Alan was talking over Alan in that moment. It's fine. I don't have to bring all these things together, but I'm going to.
Tom, let me go. I promise to be good. Please, untie me, naughty boy. I will help you write your masterpiece. I will love you forever.
No, you're not Barbara Jagger. I made a terrible mistake. I should have never written you back. You came back wrong. Your heart is filled with darkness.
Put that knife away, Thomas. Put it down.
Heart is filled with darkness. Cut it out. I'll take you back to the denser cave then.
Wowee.
Filled with darkness.
To be real.
Kevin's here. It's fine. It's fine.
Get away from me, you hag! Where am I? Let me go!
A wild ride.
I'm coming.
Your husband refused to do as he was told. All he had to do was write what I wanted him to.
Okay, I'm gonna interrupt you there, ma'am, and just kind of come on in. This is also such a wild departure from the rest of the game.
Get her back.
I am
Much
God,
older than
Alan
you.
Wake's unwashed ass.
Older than your first work of art. I will find a new face to wear. Someone else to dream me free.
Unimpressive white man simulator. Facts. I have enjoyed this game, but just wow sometimes. We had to put the light inside the darkness. We shoved our clicker inside her heart hole. And then she exploded. The power of hugs in the darkness. The true power was Barry all along.
I could feel Alice's presence close by. I understood what I had to do now. I knew how to write the ending to Departure. There's light and there's darkness. Cause and effect. There's guilt and there's atonement. But the scales always need to balance. Everything has a price. That's where Zane had gone wrong. There's a long journey through the night back into the light.
Alice? Alice?
Uh-huh. They're very good. The sunglasses. This is Travis' superpower. Oh no. Not the Ons. Days passed. I don't know what you were talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, Fruity. Fun fact. Caffeine don't do shit for me. But also, hi, Panda. How's it going, friend? Oh, look, Alice finally got out. Good job, Alice. It's a shame no one cares about you. We love a good lurk around here. It's fine, Alice. He's gone. Don't worry about it. At least she took a bath. It's true. Did she take a bath or did she just let the water run over her? This entire game is a metaphor for Alan's fear of bathing. Any sort of hygiene. Alice was trapped in the bathtub for weeks on end. It was the most horrifying thing she'd ever experienced. Alright, but that's such a waste. There's so much trash. That's going all into the water. It's fucking monsters. It's confetti. It's a parade. Also, my boys! My boys are fine. That's all that matters. Tor and Odin. I love them. Aw, Rose is the new lamp lady. Nightingale's inside being a creep? It's fine.
It's not a lake. It's an ocean.
Alan, wake up.
I think about that line a lot. A lot. That ending, specifically that line, has lived in my head rent-free for 10 fucking years. And I probably, up until now, couldn't have told you anything about it, like, that led up to this point before. I just knew that Alan lost his wife, and then he tells you that the lake is not a lake, but an ocean. Also, I skipped the credits because it was gonna play some David Bowie, which is definitely copywritten, and I am not gonna get a copyright strike for this fucking game. Anyway, so that's Alan Wake. It makes no sense. Still makes no sense. I did have fun playing it though, despite how bad the story is. I did enjoy playing this dang game. Right? Same. I like this game. It's nonsense and Alan is horrible. We did it! We did it! No, but I did enjoy playing this one. Yeah. I can't say it was good. But it was fun to play. There was a lot of nonsense that was going on, and that was pretty great. Yeah, facts though. The real horror was Alan's unwashed ass the entire time. But since I got some of y'all here, and we're already going over time, we need to figure out what we're gonna do on Wednesday. Like I said, I got a couple of FMV games that I would like to check out. But I need y'all to tell me which one you want to see. I have one called Erica. Which the synopsis of this literally tells us nothing. It says, Erica is a live-action FMV thriller that puts you directly at the heart of the mystery. Your choices, your consequences. This means nothing. This is terrible. This is terrible. This is an awful description. It looks like it has spooky dolls in it, though. So that's a thing. Otherwise, I have one. Where is it? Called The Shapeshifting Detective, which was made by the same people that did Made of Scar. And it is... Shapeshifting Detective is a supernatural murder mystery FMV game where you play as a detective who can shapeshift into other characters, allowing you to unlock secret conversations and private encounters. Looks vaguely sexy. I don't know how I feel about that. But that's also an option. Otherwise, we can always just do something else entirely. Because we were gonna do the Tiny Bunny next, but I still need to play through to get us up to where we were. I don't know. So yeah, hopefully I will get us up to date on Tiny Bunny so that we can do that in the evening starting next week. I don't imagine it'll take us very long to get through that, because it is usually just like a single sit down kind of game. But yeah. If people have preferences for what we do on Wednesday, let me know. But if not, I'll figure something out, because that's what we do. I realize we have just been kind of sitting here in silence. I'll play some music while we just kind of chat. I could do a Discord vote. People aren't always super responsive on those. But yeah, we'll figure something out. We've got plenty of options. It's just me figuring out what the option is. But yeah, we are going to call it there for tonight because we have technically gone over time, but we did finish. We finished Alan Wake. Go us! High five! Chicken Police is gonna be an afternoon game. We're gonna do that after Witchwood. Allie, we're gonna do Chicken Police after Witchwood. We decided this. That was decided. Also, David Odemi, thank you for the contribution to the Sinner's Sandwich. But it's not gonna take us too much longer to get through Witchwood. I promise. Also, Sarah, thank you for the contribution to the Sinner's Sandwich. But yeah, let's get our raid messages up. Oops. I'm glad caps lock works even with our chat commands. That's wonderful. Who do we have online? Quite a few people tonight, actually. My goodness. Let's see. I've got Mrs. Kiwi doing some Dead by Daylight, Lollyflex doing some Overwatch, Torilac doing some Teamfight Tactics, and Princess Meezy doing some Valorant. We haven't said hi to Meezy in a hot minute. haven't said hi to Mrs. Kiwi in a minute either, though. Preferences, suggestions? Meezy is on. Do we want to go say hi to Meezy? No one go say hi to Meezy? We do love Meezy here. Let's go say hi to Meezy. Boop! Gonna start that. Alright. As always, thank y'all for being here. We'll be back on Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon with more Witchwood. That evening we'll figure out what we're gonna play, and then we'll do some Cemetery Mary on Friday. How exciting is that? But until then, take care of your dang selves. I love y'all. Have a good rest of your time zone. We'll see y'all next time. Go send the love over to Meezy, and we'll see you later, y'all. Goodbye, friends.